Just like most first-time moms, I thought that I would be able to control my labor and delivery with my firstborn son, but I was super wrong. Hi, my name is Brittany Kelly. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please take the time to just hit that subscribe button, and if you are already subscribed, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any wild story times or any mommy videos. All right. And I want to give you a warning. This is a labor and delivery story, so there will be a lot of TMI moments that I will share with you. So get ready for that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so back in 2013, I was pregnant with my son. It was in August because he's a little Leo, and I had gestational diabetes. So because of that and my sugars being all crazy, I had to be scheduled for an induction when I was past 40 weeks. So I did not want to get induced, okay? That was the last thing that I wanted to happen. So about 3 days before my induction date, I decided I want to try the castor oil method, which let me just tell you right now, it did not work for me, all right? Let's just make that clear. But what did work for me is the midwife brew. That worked for me in my next pregnancy and one after that and so forth. But I'll leave a link at the end of the video for what that recipe was and how that worked or whatever. But castor oil straight up did not work for me. But let me get back to the story. So I thought, boom, I'm gonna do castor oil because I know people who use castor oil and they had a baby. So my husband was not with it. He was just like, no way, don't take it, don't do it. So I was like, okay, don't worry, go to sleep. So when he went to sleep, I hopped in the car and I went to the grocery store, literally like 12 o'clock at night. 9 months pregnant, down the road going to get my castor oil because he wasn't going to tell me what to do because I had this baby in me and he had to get out and I was scared of the medical induction and blah, blah, blah. So I was there crazy driving to the grocery store in the middle of the night. I bought the castor oil, you know, the kind that's for laxative, not the kind you put on your skin or your hair or whatever to grow, no, the laxative kind. And I bought some orange juice. I came home. I took about 2 teaspoons, mixed it with a little bit of orange juice to kill the taste, drank it, right? Then the contractions started to come, right? I started to feel them. I was like, wow, that's good, that's strong. And then also what started to come was the urge to go to the bathroom. TMI, number 1, all right? So here I am in the bathroom. You can just imagine what I was doing, all right? Having these contractions, my husband's asleep, he doesn't know what's going down. So I wake him up to come and take me to the hospital. I explain what I did, he was not happy, but I need a driver at this point, right? So he drives me to the hospital and I'm thinking, wow, it's about to go down, they're gonna admit me, I'm gonna have this baby. They looked at me and said, no sis, you are not. You just are gonna have the runs and no baby. So I was not happy, all right? I went back home, angry, not happy, went to sleep, no baby, induction date on the horizon. So the day for me to induce my labor comes. I go to the hospital, my doula meets me there because I had a doula, because I had everything planned out. I thought I was going to have a natural birth, that I wasn't going to get induced, and that I was going to go without any pain management whatsoever as far as medically. I wasn't going to have an epidural or whatever else that they do, right? So I have my doula in tow and my mom and my husband. So we go there and they start hooking me up, right? I don't know if anyone else has gotten induced, but you know, they start hooking you up and they get the Pitocin running. And they just started a little bit, just small amounts. And it was showing that I was having mild contractions, but nothing serious. So I'm there for hours and I'm huge and walking around the corridor playing, right? Dancing to music like the Lion King. If I can find the clip, I'll insert it. But there is some clip of me dancing to the Circle of Life because I thought that, you know, this was gonna be fun and games, and that I was just gonna lift my son like Simba and hold him in the air right out of my vagina, hold him in the air and be like, oh, wonderful. That's not what happened, all right? So the Pitocin wasn't really doing much for me. I was still playing around. So they finally, after hours and hours, cut this bad boy up. And I was happy because at that point I was very, very, very hungry because they do not allow you to eat. So I'm just chewing on ice and apple juice, and I'm angry because I'm tired of being at the hospital. Nothing's happening. I want my baby, okay? So they crank it up. And the doctor says, oh, we're just gonna crank it up to the maximum. And if your body still doesn't respond, that's okay. We'll just restart it at the low, give your body a break, and then try again at the high, no pressure. So I'm like, all right, cool. So the nurse makes sure it's more, right? It's at the maximum. And she asked me within the first 2 minutes, you know, how are you feeling? And I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't really, it's light. They're not really bothering me. She leaves the room. She comes back in about 10 minutes and literally I'm hunched over like this, like, and she's like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, I can feel it now. I can feel the contractions. I felt like I was going to explode. I mean, it is really, really intense. No one told me that contractions came in waves, that it starts low and then it goes up high. And that like high peak, right, of the wave literally is like, imagine like the highest note that you possibly could hear, right, and as a human being, and the pain is above that. Like it's a note you can't hear, so it's a note that it's a pain you can't feel as a human unless you birth a child. It's not human. It's not. It could, I don't know how it can be, you know, because it is unbearable. I didn't have any pain management techniques mentally for that at the time, so I was at a loss as far as what to do. My doula was trying to help, but I really was at a loss. However, in my delivery of my last child, I had the tools to manage the pain, and I was able to go natural, and these contractions weren't even that big of a deal for me. So if you want a video about that, the pain management, hit that thumbs up. You know, let me know. If I see about 25 thumbs up, then I'll know that people want it, and I'll make that video so that you can learn about the pain management. So you can go all natural if you want to, or just make it longer without an epidural, whatever. Anyway, back to the story. All right, so there I am in pain, and oh my God, what is my child doing? Okay, so there I was in pain, and there was a small break in between these contractions, about 1 minute, right? Well, usually when you're having contractions, you have to breathe out, right? And that break gives you a chance to breathe in. Unfortunately for me, I started vomiting in between each and every single contraction. Yep, TMI, all right? So here I am trying to like breathe out for a contraction, and then as soon as I have a break to breathe in, boom, I vomit. Okay. So I had no chance to breathe in. So I started feeling dizzy, I started feeling lightheaded, I thought I was going to pass out. My doula tells me, look, to manage the pain, why don't you get in the shower, because they didn't have a tub. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll get in the shower. And that is a pain management tip. It did really help. So I can imagine if you're in a tub full of water, it would soothe you so much. But just having that water from the shower hit my skin, it really helped a lot. So there I am in the shower, completely naked, having contractions and vomiting in between. Yes, all right. So I'm just like at this point nervous because I have a friend who literally passed out when she was in labor and delivery because she felt like she couldn't breathe or whatever. So I literally remembered her story and I started freaking out because I did not want to pass out and wake up on the table having a C-section. I was super nervous, super afraid of having a C-section. So I was just like, you know what? No, I can't. I need a break. I need an epidural. And so my doula, she's trying to coach me into, you know, sticking to my plan. And like I said in the beginning, no, my plan just went left. I was like, you know what? No, I don't care what I said last week, last month, a few minutes ago. I want an epidural. So they call the anesthesiologist. And at that point, I'm like 7.5 centimeters. So I know I'm getting very close to the time where I cannot get an epidural anymore. So I literally hear the anesthesiologist walk in the door because I'm still in the bathroom with my mother, the nurse, my doula, and my husband. And it's a small hospital bathroom. So anyway, I hear it, right? I don't care that I'm in the shower. I literally get out of the shower, huge belly, dripping wet, and I'm pushing the little thing that's connected to me, you know, and I'm trying to get out of this bathroom. Meanwhile, my doula, my husband, mom, they literally are grabbing towels because I'm dripping wet naked and like putting these towels on me, trying to dry me. I don't even care. I don't care who sees me butt naked. I literally was just pushing along wet. All of a sudden, a contraction came and I hit the floor, right? So I'm on the floor. They're like putting towels all over me, trying to dry me because they're afraid I'm going to slip again. I'm crawling, right? I'm trying to crawl to the anesthesiologist. No lie. I climb on this bed, sit down, I'm ready, hook me up, friend. So then he starts talking about, oh, you have to stay still because if you don't, like, I can't get this thing in, whatever. I'm thinking, how in the world am I gonna stay still, right, when I have these contractions coming and I need to vomit all the time? But he also explained that if I did not stay still, that I would become paralyzed. So all of a sudden, I got all these bright ideas on how I could stay still, okay? You all of a sudden have a light bulb moment and you're thinking, wow, I can stay still. Okay, so once the epidural hit, I was able to relax. I took a nap, the doula took a nap, my husband took a nap, my mom, we all just went to sleep because it was very late at night at this point and it slows down your labor. So if I didn't get it, I probably would have had my son that night, but I ended up having him that morning instead of that night because I had the epidural. Finally, the doctor comes in and says, we're gonna have to break your water, and once we do that, then it'll be pretty much time for you to push. But at that point, I was really ready to push. So they broke my water, and here I am getting ready to push. But what I didn't know about the epidural was that it completely numbs you from like breast to toes. I don't know about for everyone else, but for me, I was completely numb. I couldn't feel a thing. I could not move my legs. I couldn't even like hold my legs. They were dead weight. They were so heavy. So here I have my husband on one side, the doula on the other, the nurse in the middle, my mom at my shoulder, and I'm pushing. And they're like, come on, can you feel it? Can you push down towards your butt? And I'm just like, I don't feel my butt. Do I have a butt? I don't feel it. I couldn't feel anything. They kept trying to explain to me, push towards your butt. Sis, I don't feel anything. Not my toes, not my butt, not my anything, okay? So after a while being an hour and a half, okay, I asked them to just tone it back. I'm like, please just tone back the epidural a bit. So the doctor comes in, tells me she's going to switch shifts. And this is where things get stupid, okay? Just, I don't have a better word for it, all right? Because this was really, really, really annoying. So she switches shifts with a new physician. The new physician comes in. I've been pushing. And at this point, because the epidural has worn off a bit, I'm still numb down here, but the contraction part in my stomach, I can feel them. And I also, at this point, have to throw up between every contraction again. So at this point, the new doctor comes in and says to me, if I don't push the baby out in about 15 minutes, this was at about 2.5 hours of pushing, that I would need a C-section. I got really annoyed by this because I wasn't in distress, my baby wasn't in distress. The baby's head was literally, the tip, like the top, was out of my vagina. I don't understand why we need to cut my stomach and pull him technically backwards to get him out. And he wasn't stuck, I just couldn't feel it, right? So she leaves the room. Literally, I don't know what happened, if it was my son or what have you, but he just like shifted a little or something, and I literally could feel the pressure in the right place, and then I pushed and he almost flew out of there. So at this point the nurse is like, oh my God, stop pushing, I need to call the doctor. She's calling, paging, trying to get somebody to get the doctor. The doctor has left the building, okay, with a patient whose child's eyebrows were nearly out of her vagina. Okay, she left the hospital. She went on a little break. She just started. So literally they just send anybody in there. The room fills up. It becomes less intimate, and there are 20 people around staring at me and my open vagina. They asked me, you know, if I wanted a mirror to see whatever. No, thank you. Because I feel if I'm supposed to see what happens, the exit from my wound would be forward, right in my stomach. It would come right out here. But it comes out the other way because God does not want me to see that. So I said, I'm good. I do not want to see that. Told my husband not to look. He looked anyway, and he's still been traumatized. I told him not to. But anyway, he looked. And so I'm there with everybody else looking and helping and whatnot. And my baby comes out and I'm super emotional. I start crying. I was so exhausted. He was so beautiful. It was just a wonderful moment at this point. And by the time my baby's completely wrapped and swaddled and breastfeeding and everything, it's been about 30 minutes since I delivered the baby, and the doctor wants to come in and ask, why didn't anybody call me? And everyone was like, we definitely called you. She was like, I went to the office. And everyone gave her the dumb look that I gave her as well, because why would you go to the office? The emergency is here. I'm delivering a baby here right now. You just got here. So she asked me how I felt. I just looked at her and I didn't respond, because of that age-old saying, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. I was postpartum, I was on my mother bear, and I just didn't have anything nice to say. So at this point, they pull up the little wheelchair and they tell me that I can get in, but they're gonna assist me. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm fine. I can feel my legs a little now, so I'm gonna get up. I get up out this bed and hit the floor again. This is the second time that I hit the floor in my labor and delivery experience. I just fell like completely to the floor. So then everyone's helping me up because they're thinking, you know, she's so stubborn. She just wants to try to do what she wants to do, and she's in no position right now to just try to do that, you know. They put me in the wheelchair. They wheel me off to my room. My baby is there, safe, happy, healthy. And now that little baby boy, oh my God, this story just makes me feel so emotional. That little baby boy is 5 years old. He's amazing, such a sweetheart. He loves mommy, loves his siblings, loves daddy. He's just a lover. He's just super sweet and just the best thing ever. Oh, this makes me want to have baby number 4, but I'm gonna chill. All right, you guys. Oh, my dog barked. All right, you guys. My dog barked, so that means it's the end of the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for supporting and watching my crazy story about what happened when I delivered my son. I'll see you really soon. Bye.